Story 1. Average 17 years for medical research to reach patients. Researchers are working, thinking 2024, but patients are receiving Bush-era care. Author's response: unfortunately, upon reading more comments, the people in this thread, unsurprisingly I suppose, widely are interested in personal perspectives rather than scientific perspectives. So it sounds too emotionally laborious to write out. But 2 points: I have specific educational and research background in that, have several misconceptions posted here. Genetics and genomics is incredibly oversimplified to the public, and this is a wrongdoing on behalf of the general scientific community, who should actively educate everyone on this through age-appropriate research. This is what I want to do as a career, honestly. Amazing technologies like CRISPR-Cas9 support the advancement but are not used the way most people think. Gene editing is not simple. Precision medicine is not simple. Genetic genealogy is not simple. Variant calling is not simple. The bioinformatics necessary for genomic associations is not simple. Have spent many hours in tears trying to assemble genomes. Biological sex is so not simple, we don't even know about all the complexities. Things that are not simple take time, take years of training, take development, take grant writing. And given that research takes on average 17 years to reach the patient, they're not quick at any level. Even published and agreed upon research is still reassessed and reanalyzed with new data and perspectives. Genetic terms and methodologies are thrown around widely in the media because it's a hot topic with inconsistent definitions. This shows in this thread in most instances of people describing biology. Antibiotic resistance actually is scary as hell. Take them as prescribed. Ask for a second opinion if you feel you've been prescribed them inappropriately. Never hurts to research ahead of time, but remember that people almost exclusively share horror stories and almost never share success stories, so don't get too freaked out. Story 2. There is a very good chance that the last silver mine that will be opened has been opened. Every production metric for silver has fallen short multiple years in a row, and many industries use silver in a non-recoverable way. Even the cannabis industry uses about 3 grams of colloidal silver per plant they use to make feminized seeds. Disposable consumer electronics uses a lot of silver in the form of switch contacts, and basically all of that is going into landfills or getting incinerated. Story 3. How truly dangerous antibiotic resistance is. Bacteria are capable of replicating and adapting extremely quickly. Even if you start with a regular, non-resistant infection, it can become resistant to multiple drugs in a few short days. Once they give you a last line of defense antibiotic like colistin or a carbapenem, there is nowhere to go from there. So make sure you take all of your antibiotics and don't just randomly take them for every little infection. Poor antibiotic stewardship is the reason we're here in the first place. Author's response: me too. It's scary that a lot of people don't realize it's a thing, or even the extent of the threat it poses not only to vulnerable populations, children, elderly, immunocompromised, but to the general public as well. Guess what? You took 7/10 days worth of your antibiotics and you felt better, so you decided to discontinue use and save them for later. That's sometimes enough to kill the organism, but sometimes, and ever increasingly so, it's not. The survivors will continue to proliferate in your body, and they are able to mutate to gain the ability to resist the antibiotic you used. Congrats! You now have a drug-resistant bacterial infection, which, by the way, you can still pass to other people. I am going to school to be a medical lab technologist and work with bacteria and viruses on a regular basis. There are some very, very nasty things out there that will become superbugs if we aren't careful with our antibiotics. Story 4. A direct hit by a gamma-ray burst could sterilize the planet, or at the very least, kill everything bigger than a microbe. There's no way to know or predict its coming. Even if we could, we couldn't prevent it. Story 5. Eating at a potluck is playing food poisoning roulette. Story 6. You live on a thin skin of rock that covers a molten ball of magma. The relative thickness is akin to the skin of an apple.